How to break down complex level 3 nutrition topics into bite-sized memorable chunks. Hi, I'm Hayley from Parallel Coaching, and in today's web class we're going to literally be breaking down really complex nutrition topics, but also teaching you how you can break down into your own memorable chunks that you can use for your revision and to help you retain and recall knowledge for your exam day. The chances are you're watching this web class as part of your level 3 nutrition revision, and we're going to aim to make this as simple as possible for you, but still mapped to what you need to know for your exam. You might be watching this in a coffee shop, you might be doing some sneaky revision whilst you're at work, it might be on your phone, in the library, wherever you are. This masterclass is designed to make life very simple for you in terms of your revision by bringing it to you. So let's go through and have a look at the aims of what we're going to achieve in today's session. So what we aim to do is 4 clear things. First of all is we're going to discuss what the formula for learning is, because if you can understand what the formula is, you can actually apply this to all of your revision, not just for nutrition. However, we're going to be focused today on nutrition. Then we're going to be keeping it simple. So what most people do is overcomplicate. So we want to break things down so that we can keep things as simple as possible. Then we're going to introduce you to key mnemonics. Now, mnemonics is quite a word, but we're going to introduce you to this because it's a really easy way to keep things simple and retain information. And we've got some specific examples that you can use for your level 3 nutrition as well. And then we're going to give you some real good tangible advice so you can put this into practice using some clear steps and create your own mnemonics. So let's get started. First of all, why do you need to break information down? Why can't you just remember it as it's written in the book? And by the book, I mean your manual that you've been given, or you might be working via e-learning, whatever it might be. You're trying to remember a certain amount of information for 2 reasons. One is for your exam, and secondly is so that you can put this into practice and give really amazing advice as a personal trainer, as a fitness professional, as a nutritional coach, whatever it is that you're deciding to use this information for. So you've got these 2 elements that you're trying to learn information for. Now, what's really important is if you try and learn that from the book and try and learn it rote, i.e. so word by word by word, then the likelihood of actually retaining that information is a lot less. Whereas if you can chunk that information into really clear areas, almost like if you were filing the system, so you had lots of documents you had to put in a filing system, you'd probably use like an alphabetical or a numerical system for that, so you could access that file whenever you needed it. That's exactly what chunking does, and by chunking it into these smaller pieces, you can go directly to the point you need when you need to recall it for exam day or when giving advice to your clients. And that's why we're going to be looking at breaking it down into really concise, memorable chunks. Now, there is a formula for learning, and that's how we're going to be breaking it down. So this formula for learning is essentially about linking what we do know to what we don't know. So most people, when they're learning, will think of just trying to cram this new information into their brain and then wonder why it doesn't stick. But actually, we already know so much in our brains. We already know so many bits of information that actually, if we can link these new complex topics to something that already exists in our brain, hopefully it's something very simple and very familiar, then that will actually create this link, this embedded link in our brain. And this link allows us to retrieve that information, retain and recall it a lot simpler, which is really good news for your exam. And also when you're using it with clients later on. So what we're looking at here is this simple formula of saying, well, the formula for learning is to take my complex topic. So let's say, for example, the complex topic is digestion or understanding about vitamins. Then I want to take a simple and familiar concept. So that could be lettering, like here you can see it's just ABC, for example. You take this very simple and familiar framework, and then you apply the complex topics to that simple and familiar framework so that you have something that is known as learning. Now, that might sound a little bit complex, so we've got some examples for you and some really easy ways that you can use them. So in order to keep things simple, we generally use mnemonics. Now, mnemonics are used a lot. This is quite a word, especially when you look at how it's spelled. But mnemonics is basically just a system, such as a pattern of letters, some ideas or associations, and they assist in remembering something. You may have come across some of these mnemonics before, so things like alliteration, acronyms, diagrams, analogies, and rhymes. Now we're going to go through a few of these here today and relate them specifically to your level 3 nutrition, so you have a few that you can take away and start working with straight away. So let's have a look at these key mnemonics. The first one we're going to start off with is alliteration. Now the example for this that we use is the LDLs and HDLs when we're talking about cholesterol. So this can often get confused. Some people will say, I don't know which way round the HDLs are and the LDLs are. So let's just break this down. First of all, LDLs are low density lipoproteins and HDLs are high density lipoproteins. So these come underneath the brackets of cholesterol. So we're looking at this cholesterol. And we know that cholesterol can impact our heart health, it can cause cardiovascular disease, but what we're really looking at here is what the purpose of each of these are and how to remember which way round they are. So one of these is a good, in inverted commas, cholesterol, so HDL is the good one, as signed in this image that you can see here. It's got like an angel, and then the LDL is classed as the bad one. But why is that? So LDLs basically are this lipoprotein. So the lipoprotein means that it's fat and protein together. And what happens is cholesterol can piggyback on these LDLs and it gets taken around in the bloodstream. But the LDLs drop this cholesterol and plaques and calcium all across our arteries. So they're like litter bugs. So remember, L for LDL equals L for litter bugs. And if you think, say, on a festival, for example, when you've got lots and lots of people dropping litter, then it builds up quite quickly. So LDLs are the ones dropping litter. Then the HDLs are there happy to help. These are the ones that are picking up litter and putting it in the bins. Now, the HDLs are literally going to be the type of lipoprotein that's floating around in our blood, and that collects all of the cholesterol and deposits that are inside our arteries and dumps them in a place where we can synthesize them and get them out of our body. So what has this got to do with festivals that I mentioned a moment ago and LDLs and HDLs? So if you imagine a busy festival site, you've got lots and lots of LDLs. They're dropping litter left, right and centre. So it's lots and lots of litter left. And the problem here, when you look at it at the end of a festival site, is that you've got lots of people that have left litter. So there's a high number of LDLs, but there isn't enough people that will be happy to help and pick it up and put it in the bins, which is the HDLs. So in this situation, there becomes more and more litter gathered in the festival site. So if we reverse this and look at the arteries, if you've got lots of LDLs, lots of litter being dropped, then you're going to have more deposits around the arteries, especially if you've got more LDLs than HDLs. So the important thing with cholesterol is looking at the ratio between LDLs and HDLs. A good way of remembering difference: LDL is a litter bug, HDL is happy to help. So let's go on and look at acronyms. Now, you may have come across this acronym before. There are lots of different acronyms that we use in the level 3 nutrition. Other ones that we also have are things like ACE for remembering the vitamins, and also a real clear acronym called Moss's DJ in LA for remembering the digestive sequence. But because this is a familiar one, we want to start with SMART goals. So SMART goals is an important part of nutrition. You may have come across SMART before, and it allows you to have a tick list for every single part of building a goal. So each of the letters within the word SMART stand for something relating to the goal. So it must be specific, measurable, attainable, sometimes that's classed as achievable instead, relevant or sometimes realistic, and time-based. So you have these 5 different elements that make up a very effective goal, and these are reflected in the acronym SMART. Diagrams. Diagrams are really, really useful ways of remembering things and jotting things down. Now, diagrams could be something that you physically draw out. So, for example, the actual digestive system can be an easy one to draw out. However, for nutrition, it also works that you can use your hand. So, for example, when you're giving advice to clients about portion sizes, you can use the portion sizes using your hand. So this example that you can see on screen here, like the palm of the hand would be the meat, a fist of pasta, a fist of ice cream. A fist of ice cream would be lovely. Butter would be like just a fingertip. Cheese would be two fingers worth, and then a peanut butter would be a thumb. So you have these clear portion guides that you can use, and you could give that to your clients so they can learn in the same way. This is also a mnemonic because you're relating it to something you already know. The thing you know is your hand. You already have this available as a source. All you've got to do is link the hand to the item that you're talking about portion control with. Next one is analogies. Now, an analogy is more of a general term. So a general term whereby you are linking something that you know to something you don't know. So, for example, if your client is struggling to understand the concept of good nutrition in their body and why it matters on the quality of food that they are consuming, then we can relate this to the type of fuel that we would put in our car. So if we wanted to go on a journey in our car, then if it's a petrol car, we don't want to be putting diesel in it. Similarly, we want to make sure the quantity is correct, that we're not just putting in £10 worth when we've got to do a huge journey ahead that's got multiple hundreds of miles on it. So you want to make sure that you are adequately fueling in quantity, so there's enough fuel in the tank, but also in quality, that you've chosen the right fuel for your car for the job that is desired. And that same principle is applicable to the body and how we fuel that body. And actually, this can be a very easy, very simple analogy to use for your clients to really help them understand why nutrition is important and why they need to be considering what they're consuming. So these are the key mnemonics that we've gone through today for level 3 nutrition. So you've got something you can take away with you. Now, what we really want to do from here is break it down so you can put it into practice, so you can create your own mnemonics. So let's have a look at these 5 steps. So putting it into practice. First of all, step 1 is to choose your complex topic. So your complex topic could be the digestive system, for example. Then step 2 is to look for trends or keywords. So put that process in alignment. So you've got your list of all of your digestive system, and then look for trends or keywords. Now, the keyword could be the actual name of that part of the sequence, or it could be that you're looking for trends in terms of words that are the same or letters that are the same. So look for these trends. And then step 3 is to choose your mnemonic. Are you going to use alliteration, an acronym? Are you going to put a story together? Are you going to have a diagram? How are you going to choose to simplify it? And then you put all this together and you need to practice it. Now, we're a big fan here at Parallel Coaching of practicing your brain dump before you get into your exam day. And a brain dump is so that as soon as you get into your exam, you have some blank paper on your table and you literally scribble down everything you can remember before you start your exam. But this should be practiced in advance and just use some key mnemonics to help link in lots of information. So in order to do this, you would basically practice going over this mnemonic over and over and over again. And then once you've done that, when you get into your exam, step 5 is to use that mnemonic by just scribbling it down on your scrap bit of paper before you start your exam. Obviously, once the invigilator said you may now begin, you scribble it down and then you can use that for reference throughout the exam. And that's how you can use your 5-step process for really breaking down and creating your own mnemonic. So this could sound like it's quite a large task to do, especially for certain areas of nutrition. There's quite a bit in there to learn. So you can either create your own or you can use ours. So if you choose to use ours, we have something called our Revision Mastery Series. Now, our Revision Mastery Series is basically crammed full of dozens of mnemonics. And these mnemonics are designed to help you learn very key areas of nutrition so that you are able to help retain and recall it for your exam, just like what we've already discussed. These are also mapped to major awarding body syllabus. So this includes things like Active IQ, CYQ, YMCA and VTCT. So you know that the mnemonics you're learning are linked to what you need to know for your exam, which is really important. Also, using the mnemonics makes it really easy to learn because you're linking it to something you already know, like what we've discussed a moment ago. It makes it easier to remember because you only have to remember one thing instead of, say, 7 things. And you will save hours of revision time. And the reason for this is because in our Revision Mastery series, we've condensed hundreds of pages from your manual for nutrition and sculpted that into a program that is easy to digest using your mnemonics, using easy to remember systems that mean that you can actually cut your revision time in half. So let's tell you a little bit more about our Revision Mastery series. Our Revision Mastery series is made up of 6 HD video modules, and these literally are mapped to everything you need to know for your level 3 nutrition exam. And you get instant and lifetime login access to these tutorials, so they don't disappear. Now, these 6 modules, let's just go into detail about what you'll actually learn. You can see these on the right hand side of your screen. Nutrition and digestion, so you'll learn all about the digestive system. You'll understand macro and micronutrient groups, which is probably the largest chunk of understanding nutrition. Then healthy eating guidelines, what guidelines you're able to give and what guidelines actually exist. Then the nutrition for exercise, how does what you're eating relate to activity in particular? And then setting nutritional goals, which is so key when we're now starting to work with clients. Are they ready to change? How do we actually set an effective goal for them? And then finally, how to give nutritional advice and calculate client macros and calories. Now that is key. That last one is so important, not necessarily for the exam, but when you go forward to actually working with your clients, you're now going to be able to actually give advice that is tangible by being able to calculate macros in an easy way. And we have a really great hack for doing that in there as well. So they're all of the 6 modules. But alongside each of these modules, these are in video format, you also get cheat sheets. So the cheat sheets make life even easier for your revision. And that's because you can test yourself as you go and you can use it to consolidate your learning. As well as all of this, you'll also get access to a bonus, which is our instant learning hacks. Now, the instant learning hacks is a video series that allows you to actually learn how to learn. How do you revise? How do you retain knowledge for exam day? And part of this is to download a proven weekly revision planner that we have as well. So you literally have all the tools you need in order to be able to learn, revise, and retain your knowledge. Then you've got our success guide. Now, our success guide is really interesting. This is where we asked over 1,200 learners what the most impactful part of their Revision Mastery series that's helped them pass their exams. And astoundingly, we got 7 specific answers. So out of 1,200 people, there were 7 things that people came back with, and we've condensed these into a secret success guide. Now, this is basically a few-page PDF that means that you can literally look through and shortcut your way to your exam success by seeing what other people have used and how that has helped them pass their exams. On top of all of this, each one of your video modules can be downloaded to MP3 and MP4. Now, the beauty of this is that you can use that without Wi-Fi. So that means you can listen to it whilst you're out walking the dog, whilst you're driving, whilst you're cleaning the house, whilst you're at the gym. And this allows you to have a really good level of repetition. And repetition is really key for understanding and retaining information. Alongside all of this, you also get unlimited student support, so if you have a question, you're not on your own. You get bonus videos and mock questions, so you can go back over and check your knowledge. And then alongside all of this, you get everything that we've mentioned for lifetime and instant access. So all you need to do is click the link that is with this page and you'll be able to access the Revision Mastery series instantly. So you'll see there is an exclusive offer on this page. Just go ahead, click the link. And if you do have any questions when you're looking through, then please do drop them in the comments box below this video. So whilst you're having a look through on that link, the other thing that I want to go through is just really recap what it is we've learned today in this video. So we went through the formula for learning. What is the formula for learning and how do you actually learn? Then we looked at how you can keep it simple and using mnemonics specifically for your level 3 nutrition. And then we've given you how you can put this into practice. So 5 clear steps you can create your own mnemonics Or you can use ours and use the Revision Mastery series, which we mentioned a moment ago, and you can find the links to that here on this page. Now, I would love to hear from you. So what did you learn today in this whole web class? What was the main thing that you learned? So please do drop your comment below in the box. And also, if you've got any extra questions, that's the place to leave them too. If you have any specific questions that you would like to speak to me directly about, my name's Hayley, by the way, then the email address you can contact me on is on screen now, info@parallel-coaching.com. So please do drop us an email. I'd love to hear from you if you do have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on another web class soon. Take care.